In the last video we learned how to flat ice a cake, and now we're going to continue that and learn about decorating cakes. So I just did a crumb coat on this, and I don't have enough buttercream to do a second coat. You might be thinking, oh no, what am I going to do? And I'm not worried about it. So the first thing to decide on what to do really is you're going to take a look at the edges, right? I have some cake showing through. It's not that big of a deal, but I thought you guys might want to learn how to coat the cake in like sprinkles. That's usually a good way to hide up mistakes, right? And then the second thing is to hide mistakes is to put a border on there. Now I think I have enough for maybe a top border, but you could also do a bottom border. So maybe you want to do toasted coconut, maybe it's a coconut cake. Try to match your decoration with the flavor of the cake as much as possible, especially if you got nuts in your cake or other things that could be allergies. I don't have any hazelnuts, unfortunately, left over, but I would put like candied hazelnuts on top. It would look really pretty. So always match the flavor and the decoration as much as possible when you do these kind of cakes. So luckily nobody here is allergic to nuts, but always tell somebody if you have an allergen in your food, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use what I have. I got these chocolate jimmies, and I'm gonna put them on the outside of the cake. So if you're using chocolate cake crumbs, if you're using sprinkles, toasted coconut, whatever, it's all the same process on putting it on the cake. So I'm gonna have like a catch bin, basically, and pour it all in there. I'm not gonna use all these sprinkles, but I need a wide thing that can catch the ones that fall off. So I'm gonna clear off my workstation. So you wanna do this before you put any borders on, because you don't want to get the sprinkles in the borders, right? So I'm gonna take my spatula, I'm gonna lift up my cake. So make sure you get under the cake board, and sometimes you're gonna push it off the cake stand and onto your hand. All right, so you get your workout for today. It's actually pretty heavy. So we don't want to ruin the cake, so we're gonna try to do this as evenly as possible. And you're just gonna let them fall off, but press it and make sure you turn the cake with both hands. Be careful. Now you can go all the way to the top. You can go halfway. You decide. Okay, so once you have it all the way around, you want to put it back down on whatever I'm going to put it on the table for now, but when we put it back on the turntable, we want to put it on whatever its final resting place is going to be, whether it be a cake board or a very big plate. So I'm going to wipe that down and then put the cake on it. So remember I have a cake board under that, so if you don't have a cake board, you're probably already on the plate that you're going to use for your final product. And that's okay, but it just might be hard to get the jimmies that fall off, or the sprinkles on the off the plate. You might have to do a little tedious work for that. So to make sure that when you're delivering your cake, it doesn't slide around, this is packing tape, but you could use Scotch tape or whatever. And you're just gonna create a loop. Now remember, this isn't going on any food, this is just going on cardboard and the plate. All right, it's very important. Just make sure it's centered. And then plop it down. All right, might have to clean the edges up a little bit. That's okay. So the next thing I'm gonna do, right, it's looking pretty good. I got my sprinkles on there. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write happy birthday on it, because if I put the border on now, I run the risk of dragging my hand through the border as I'm writing happy birthday. So if I write happy birthday on it now, I'm not gonna have that problem. So I'm just gonna melt some chocolate in a ramekin and put it in a little parchment paper piping bag that I'll make, and write happy birthday. Okay, so now I'm gonna fill my bag with chocolate. And the reason I picked dark chocolate was because I have a light background. So if I had a really dark background, I'd probably use white chocolate. You don't need that much chocolate, so don't fill it up too much. You don't want it coming out the back. So to close up my bag, you can see it's only filled up to here. So to close my bag up, I'm gonna fold in the corners. And I have my seam in the front. So then I'm gonna roll it down to create that pressure for my bag. So before I cut the tip off, I'm going to put my cake down so I can be over it and write on it. Okay, so I have my cake on the counter. And I'm gonna make sure I pressure my bag before I start writing. Before I cut off the tip, so I start writing. Now when you're writing, you wanna have your feet one behind the other, because you're gonna use your whole body to write. You're not gonna just write like this, because then it won't be as smooth of a line, right? So I'm just gonna cut it off. And I want it smaller the better, because it's melted chocolate. It's gonna run out pretty quick. Okay. So I'm gonna write happy birthday. So after you're done writing, that's when you want to dot your I's and cross your T's and your H's. And if you're not happy with your handwriting, like me, practice makes perfect. But also, because this is pure chocolate, you can put this in the refrigerator and carefully, when it hardens, break it off and lift up the letters and redo it if you want to. Put a 30 there. All right, time to put it back on the cake stand to get the border on there. So I'm gonna refill my bag with the rest of my icing. So I've been using the straight tip. I'm gonna switch to the star tip. So all you need to do to switch to the star tip is unscrew the coupler and put the other tip on. So I'm gonna do my favorite border, which I call the comma E. So you're gonna make a lowercase e, and then you're gonna go the other way and make a comma. And you're gonna cover the tail end with the next piping thing. So pressure, steady pressure, and then when you come off the end, less pressure. So E, comma, E, and we're going to show you up close. So that's E. So now we're going to do comma, comma, E, comma. Always turn the cake, don't turn yourself. Comma, E. You got to remember which one you're doing. Now you could do, if you lose track, you could do the same all the way around. And actually for the bottom part, I'm going to show you the shell. So the shell and the pearl are pretty much the same, but the shell is done with the star tip and the pearl is done with the straight tip. So for a shell, we're going to push, 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 go like that. Push, 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 drag, right? And that's where I'm going to put my candle. And you could do the same thing on the top if you want to. I'm actually just going to do stars and put as many candles in as I want. So with a star, and this is where the star tip gets its name, you're just pushing, stop pressure, come up. Push, stop pressure, come up. Push, stop pressure, come up. So there's so many different things you could do with the piping tip. If you guys want to learn more about piping different shapes and stuff, let me know in the comments below and I can make a video exclusively on just piping different things, right? So I think I'm going to take this off and do a big star instead. Just like a lump. You know what? Maybe I'll do a rosette. So, rosettes, swirl, 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 and then come this way. And you have a rosette. Right? And that's perfect for a candle. So there's all different things you can do. I don't have enough icing to do the bottom, but I'll just show you anyway. Right? So if I was going to do the bottom with the sprinkles, doesn't matter. I'm just going to do the same thing, but if you get sprinkles, make sure you brush it off before you go to the next one. All right, so I made it all the way around the cake. That's amazing. Okay guys, so the last step in decorating your cake, don't forget the candles. So when it comes to candles and just things in general in pastry, when you're decorating, you want to have an odd amount. It looks more natural to the eye. So I got 5 birthdays. He's turning 30. I don't have 30 candles. So I'm just going to use what I have. Always check your junk drawer for candles. If you have them, that's probably where they are. So Noel's at the gym right now, but when he comes back, he's going to have a great birthday cake. It's probably a good thing he's at the gym. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, man. You want to cut me a piece of cake?
Yeah, stay over here.
I don't want to be here.
Because you're pretty. That's why I put you on camera.
Is that peanut butter?
Homemade Nutella.
Crystal star. Not that trying piece.
So, thanks for stopping by Grace's place. And a happy 30th birthday to my favorite person in the world, Noah.